What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate you. Quaranteam in the house. See a lot of conversations happening already in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I do want to get to a few more site reviews than we have before. So if you're coming in here, yesterday and the day before, we've done, I think, one, maybe two. Over the weekends, we do a lot more, but a lot of you have been saying you've been getting a ton of value out of that. So we're definitely gonna do that. But before we get to that, let me give you some shout outs. Also, make sure you hit that like button because we have another like goal today. And it's the same one that we had yesterday. It's gonna be this one right here, which is 220 likes. And I'm gonna do some more stuff off the shelf. A lot of you loved the stories I told about the things that we unlocked yesterday. I'm gonna pick 3 other things that are on there because there's a ton of stuff behind me that I'd love to share with you. So that's our goal for today. So I'll keep popping that up there. I keep pointing the wrong direction because the screen's mirrored for me. But anyway, 220 likes today, that'd be awesome. And again, thank you for being here. Now I'm pointing in the right direction. I know where that one is. So welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. We got Daniel Henderson in the house. We got Alice Turner. Happy Friday, everyone. Hit the like button if you haven't. Is it Friday? It's Thursday. I think it's Friday on the other side of the world, though, perhaps at this point. Oh, and Melini, thank you so much for saying this. So my students know this because I sent an email this morning that office hours was postponed one day. And it's postponed one day. It's usually on Thursdays today. But it's postponed because today, after the stream, I am done with work because I'm going to be supporting April in letting her do whatever she wants. Unfortunately, she can't go anywhere because of quarantine. But she's not going to take care of the kids today because she's going to get some relaxation time, rest time, bath time, whatever time she wants. Because today's her birthday. Yes, her name's April. Her birthday's in April. But she's done so much over the last 10 years since we've had kids, 2 kids, and especially now being quarantined and having to take care of not just the house and stuff, and she's a stay-at-home mom, but now 2 kids and homeschooling them and distance learning and all this other new stuff that's been happening. She's definitely been stepping up. So it's the least I can do to help her on her birthday. Honestly, if I had it my way, I would do this every day, but a man's got to work. And I got to get stuff done. So anyway, thank you all for the birthday wishes. I'll pass them along to her for sure. Ray's in the house. What's up, Ray? Great to see you here. We have Ellen. Happy birthday to April. Jennifer, happy birthday. 70 likes already. Wow, you guys are, Kalpana is right. You guys are on it today, which is really fantastic. Happy birthday. Good for you to support her. I think it's important, especially now, to just try and be as considerate as possible to other people's situations because I think it's so easy to get lost in our own situation with how crazy things are. And of course, we all have stuff to take care of too, but sometimes we might forget that, well, other people are struggling or other people might be working overtime. And the cool thing about stay-at-home moms is oftentimes they don't do it for likes, they don't do it for recognition, they definitely don't do it for money. They do it because it's what's important, and a little bit of recognition goes a long way. So thank you so much. I'll pass that along to her and show her the love. So that makes so much, that makes me so happy. This was so hard to find. I could not find this until Pat went live. YouTube is not good. Yeah, YouTube could use some help. Although, just a little secret for y'all, I created a little short link. You can either use patflynn.com or smartpassiveincome.com. If you go to patflynn.com/theincomestream, it'll always show you the next upcoming stream. Or if we happen to be live, it'll show this one right now. So patflynn.com/theincomestream, that's the name of the show. So now you won't forget. And if you ever feel like it's a struggle to find it, well, now you know how to find it. patflynn.com/theincomestream. So that'll be good. Birthday is April 7th, says Free Spirit. Well, happy birthday to you. Doug said, happy birthday, April Flynn, not AF like it usually is when it's like dope AF. You know what I mean? Vicky says, it's so awesome. Happy birthday to April. Okay, cool. We also want some questions to answer, and we'll get into site reviews later. In the meantime, while questions are coming in, by the way, first of all, Team Flynn for the win. You're amazing. Thank you. And then also check out this website. If you haven't gone here yet, smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. Let me show you. This is sort of just what I do at the beginning of each of these streams. But this is the webpage here. It's an online business toolkit, completely free, with a bunch of free stuff on it to help you during this crisis. If you're a business owner or looking to start a business during this time, there's a lot of things that this now makes possible. So we have some emergency podcast episodes with some of my team members about what to do if you get laid off right now or how to maintain your business in this environment. In addition to that, work from home tips and things like that. My course, Smart from Scratch, which is normally $249, we've given away for free during this time to help people. I got laid off in 2008. I got made redundant. I know how it feels, and I only wish somebody stepped up to to help me sooner. It wasn't until I sort of found somebody that things started to finally happen. But I wanted to give you a framework to help you get started. And Smart from Scratch has already been giving away over $1 million worth during the last couple weeks, which has been amazing. So thank you all for getting into that. And then my books, Let Go and Will It Fly, are available via PDF there as well, and some accounting stuff, some CARES Act explanation. So we have some stuff coming up about specifically the Stimulus Act and how it may affect you, and some other stuff from friends too. So smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit is where you can go for that. All right, B2 says, where might you go or how might you grow a Facebook group? The number one best way to grow any group is to have people in that group recommend it to their friends. So growth from within. This is what I talk about in my book, Superfans. So many of us are worried about growing things from the outside. Let's get new people to come in. Let's get SEO involved. Let's get paid advertising involved. And these things work. They cost money, or sometimes they cost money. But the best way to grow is from a recommendation from a friend, from within, from somebody who trusts you already. Because when somebody then comes in through that channel, well, they're not coming in cold anymore. They're not coming in like, who am I, or why should I even be here? They got asked by a friend, which is really, really cool. So I think that's the number one way to do it. So the big thing is, well, how might you get people who are within the community to help grow the community too? So you could ask, obviously, hey, if you enjoy this, you can share it. That'd be awesome. But I think giving people a reason to talk about it becomes the big play. And this isn't easy. If it were easy, everybody would be doing this, right, B2? So I think the most important thing is to go, well, what can you do within the group to get people to start talking about it, to get people to want to bring people who are like them, who are in your target audience, to come in too. So we got William. Wow, a $20 super chat. William, thank you so much. Before I answer your question here, and first of all, thank you so much for the support. This $20 and any other super chats that come in during the month get put into a bucket essentially and then donated to a good cause. This last month, we donated over 1,000 meals to people who need them in San Diego at the San Diego Food Bank. And that was because of you, because of all y'all, your super chats and your support. They aren't necessary. This is completely free to be here. Don't feel bad if you can't give a super chat right now. I completely understand, but that's not why I'm here. That's just a bonus. So William, thank you so much for that. You are amazing. So here it is. We got, I hope this helps someone get a meal. Thank you, and it will. Now for the question, can you tell me how you see the difference between Ecamm, Zoom, and Demio in the midst of some buying decisions for software tutorials Q&A? Okay, so Zoom to me is better for meetings, meaning, yes, you can run webinars on it as well, but if you want to have face-to-face meetings, it's also great for recording webinars and more casual sort of situations, not necessarily going live, although you can go live to YouTube, I believe, but guaranteed Facebook from within a Zoom call. You can just click stream live and you can go there. But Ecamm sort of is that on steroids, the live portion of it, because, and I don't know if you saw my last video, William, but it's about Ecamm and all the different bells and whistles that you might have access to related to going live, from, little pop-ups like that are really simple to do, full screen takeover, sound effects, and like countdown time. Like you have easy access to stuff on Ecamm. On Ecamm also, you can stream to more places. I know you can stream to Periscope and Twitch and many others. You can stream to multi places if you get a account at Restream.io or Switchboard Live. But where Demio really surfaces is if you're going to be doing webinars, especially if you want to get people to, number one, register for the webinars. They really, really make that easy. They really make it great. If you're going to be either growing your email list, then Demio would be the best way to go about it, because you can actually create a registration page or create interconnections, or what are they called, integrations between Demio and ConvertKit or whatever email service provider you might be using, right? And so when people register for the webinar, you can put them into a drip sequence or something in your email service provider. And again, where Demio really excels is in the webinar sort of process of getting people messages before they come, or sending follow-up sequences after, the data about these calls, when are people leaving, what's the retention rate within your webinars. That it's more of a traditional webinar platform. Ecamm is more for going live, Zoom is more for meetings. Thank you for that. And I did see another super chat come in from Mike. Mike, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Mike, thanks for hosting. Pat, in your experience, what's the most important metric to track for a niche directory membership site? So a niche member directory site, long-term value, churn. So membership directory site, I would say lifetime value is important, which does relate to churn, obviously, because it's however many months people are in there. I would say a really important metric to track that is often underrated in the membership site realm is how many times on average is a person logging in every single either day or week. I think that's a very valuable metric because it gives you some insight on, well, how really useful is this membership? Is it something that actually people want to come into, right? And if it's more of a directory and you're having people kind of plug in their information and that's it, then that's fine too. I think obviously web traffic is important, and then how long people are sticking around. One tip I have for people who have memberships or any sort of recurring thing is really understand what your retention rate is. For example, if you know that people are leaving after 3 months, well, at 2 months and 3 quarters, send an email with a free gift, something that blows their mind, because they're likely going to think about, well, what is the purpose of me sticking around? Oh, that's a great reminder, and then they'll continue to pay you after that. So I think those are two sort of underrated sort of metrics to track in the website situation, in the membership website situation. I did see another super chat come in. What's up, Hey Archer? Good to see you, my friend, my fellow beard grower. 199. Happy birthday, April. Morning all. Signing up to Ecamm today. Awesome. Make sure you go through my affiliate link if you can. It's on my setup page for all my equipment, or patflynn.com/ecamm if you'd like. And that means the world to me that you've supported me through that. Thank you so much. Awesome. Margaret says, I was on a Demio webinar the other day and it was a total fail. Video quality and glitches abounded. Not sure it's up to the task right now. That's really interesting. Thank you for being honest about that. I'm a big user and a fan of Demio. I'm not an advisor, although I am an affiliate, and I have used it very recently for a webinar, and it worked out really well. There's a number of reasons why streams may fail. It may be on Demio's end, it may be on the user's end, right? In terms of website speed, and I know internet issues are happening right now because everybody is on at the same time right now. But thank you for telling me about that, and I think that's definitely good to know for sure. Grandma Goody says, how do we give a super chat? I don't see it. There should be a little $sign, I think, next to where you put in the chat, and then you can either choose to do like a sticker, which is interesting, or a super chat. And again, this is not required, please. I don't want you to think I'm here to make money, although all money donated does go to the San Diego Food Bank at the end of the month. Let's see. Kate Fit says, which platform would you recommend for a live exercise class? A lot of people are using Zoom for these live sort of situations. I think if you also are going to be going live and have a community, you want to make sure you choose a platform that allows you to go live to that community. So I would say, for example, if you have a big Instagram following, if you wanted to go live on Instagram, for example, you might use something like Looma, Looma, which I used recently, and it does broadcast to Instagram. If your following is more on Facebook, you can choose to go within a group, for example, and you have this group of your community who can all chat with each other in between your lives. And if you wanted to do a fitness thing, you can actually broadcast through something like Ecamm into Facebook Live. I think that you can also directly use something within Facebook to broadcast. You don't necessarily need these external platforms, although, like I said, they just offer a lot more fun and excitement during these live streams. So those are a couple platforms. I don't know if any of you are in Australia, but I've heard recently, and actually I know this because April was, I got out of the office yesterday after a couple calls after the live stream, and the kids were all sweating, and I was like, what is going on? You can't go outside and play normally, so like, what did you do? And the kids were like, PE with Joe, PE with Joe. And I was like, what is that? And April introduced me to this person named Joe. He's a physical education teacher who specializes in helping kids get fit. And this is his time to shine. He's actually been in the media. Anybody know what I'm talking about or who I'm talking about? He has gained millions of subscribers just over the past couple of weeks because he's just been showing up live every day on YouTube. And I'm not necessarily sure what platform or technology he's using to stream, but it's just in his living room. And he has an iPad with him to help him keep track. and he's doing these fun exercises for kids, and he's making it fun. He's getting his kids involved. It's so cool. Joe Wicks. Oh, I guess he's British. Sorry. But yeah, he's doing some amazing things. And, to step up and sort of own the sort of teaching kids exercise. And I think his tagline is fantastic. It's like, exercise to get your kids tired or something like that, which I think is awesome. So he knows that the target audience is parents. However, he's tailoring the content to the kids. He's making it fun so they continue to come back. But for the parents, it's the benefit, right? And we talk about this all the time, even when we do these website reviews, which I do want to get into in a minute, right? It's all about, well, how might you attract and get people on the other end to want to pay attention to you? What is the ultimate want for a parent when it comes to their kids in this sort of situation when everybody's stuck in the house? Well, let's just get these kids tired, right? Because we want them to get tired so it's easier to watch them, and they're getting exercise at the same time. I think it's awesome. And Martin says he's donating all the money he makes from it to good causes too. Man, I love this guy. I don't even know him, but I want to put my hands through his hair because he has long hair and it looks really soft. But in addition to that, he looks awesome. I want to give him a hug or a fist bump or an elbow bump right now because he's doing some really cool stuff. Karma Cashflow in the house. Thank you so much for this super chat. Karma Cashflow, check out his latest video. Apparently it's awesome. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't had the time to go and check out other new YouTube channels yet, but Karma Cashflow, I think, is on a 120-day run of some kind. He filmed 120 videos recently, and that's awesome. So thank you so much for that. Joe Wicks, thank you, Samantha. I appreciate you for helping me out. Entivate says, $10 super chat, by the way. Thank you so much. You're amazing. When launching a podcast, is it better to launch with 3 to 4 episodes pre-recorded or start with just 1 episode? Thanks, Pat. So my students will know the answer to this because I drill it into their heads. Always launch your podcast, number 1, like an event. You want to make a big deal out of it. And so here's the analogy I want to share with you, and I'll tell you just a little bit of what this setup is like. So imagine you're a musician, right? You're a musician and you do a great job of getting people to buy tickets ahead of time. You let them know that you have these great songs that you want to play. You let them know that you're going to have these special guests on stage with you. It's going to be awesome. You get the venue ready, you get everybody in, and the whole crowd is there. It's awesome. And then you get up on stage and you go, hey everybody, my name's Pat Flynn. Welcome to the show today. Thanks. I got a lot of great music to play with you, but let me tell you a little bit about my story, and let me give you an introduction, and let me tease these upcoming songs for you. And then 15 minutes go by and you're like, all right, guys, thanks so much. I can't wait to play the songs for you later. And then you leave, and then everybody's left hanging. You've done a good job of treating it like an event, getting people excited about it, but you showed up and you didn't even play your set. You played 1 song, and everybody's like, encore, okay, great. Where's the next song? Where's the next song? Anybody? Oh, and I'll tell you, I launched my podcast with 1 episode. And because I had an audience and because I made a huge deal out of it, it got really high in the rankings, which was the point, right, of going like an event. But then people who didn't know me started to find it. And they started to press play because it was social proof. It was ranking really high. And guess what? They were disappointed, right? Because they didn't know me and they were like, well, why is this guy getting so much love? He's only got 1 episode. There's nothing here yet of value to me. So I'd always recommend launching with 3. At least 3 to 5, I would say, and then have the rest for just later so you can just sort of get ahead on your editorial calendar if you want to get ahead, which I do recommend. So the first episode can be an introduction, right? The second episode could be about a subtopic. Like, let's say, for example, you're in fitness. So the first episode might be about you and your style, and you just get to know people, have people begin to like you, which is great. Episode 2 could be maybe my nutrition ideas and my nutrition philosophy, my nutrition plan. Episode 3 could be specifically about cardio. Right? So now somebody who's maybe more into nutrition, they might listen to episode 2 first and get excited and then go to 1 and then 3, or maybe they're going to start with 3 and then go to 1 and 2. Or if they go to 1 and they like it, they might go 1, 2, 3. And so now you have more downloads, more subscribers, more all of that happening at the same time, and it's going to work out much better. So hopefully that helps. And thank you so much again for the $10 super chat. Entivate, that's awesome. Can't wait to hear your show and see when it comes out. By the way, we have a like goal today of 220. We're about halfway there already, and we're about 20 minutes in, which is really awesome. So thank you so much. 40% through the through the conversation today. Awesome, fantastic. I did see another super chat come in, which is just crazy. Grandma Goody, hey, Grandma Goody, thank you so much. We did a website review for her over the weekend, doing some amazing things. Great job implementing that. I found it, pulled this out of my cookie jar, keep spreading the love, hashtag Team Flynn. Wow, crazy. We just helped 100 people get meals today, which is awesome. Thank you so much, Team Flynn, which is really great. Leonid says, can you do a solo podcast? Yes, absolutely. The trick with a solo podcast is it's a little bit more difficult because you're having a conversation essentially with yourself. But I wouldn't frame it that way. I would have a conversation with the listener on the other end as if it was a conversation with one other person who was in the same room with you. It just makes the production of it so much easier, number one. And number two, it helps you stay in tune with the messaging. It helps you stay in tune with the language. You want to say words like you versus you guys, because I know that it's easy for us as content creators, you as a content creator, to say, you guys or all of you, welcome in today, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I know I say that here in these live streams too, but we see the community, so it makes sense. But a podcast listener, yes, you're sharing a podcast and hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of people can listen to it. But to the listener, it's just you and them. They're not listening with everybody else. It's just them. So when you say you guys, but it's just them listening, well, it's a little bit of a disconnect. However, if you say things like, thank you for listening today, you're on your walk, you're in the car, you're wherever, and I want to say just thank you so much for being here. Here's what you are going to learn in this episode today. Boom, now it's more connected, now it's more personable, and that's definitely what I would recommend to do. Ellen with a super chat as well. Let me finish up with this chat about solo shows. The beauty of a solo show is it positions you as an expert, right? Which is why those who do interview shows, you may want to insert a solo show every once in a while because it definitely positions you of an expert. Although not that being said, you can be an expert through association, through the people that you interview, and of course the knowledge that you collect over time in your show and in your conversations. However, solo shows are great because it does show expertise, and it also has you show up and has, people can connect more closely with you. Interview shows are great because with interviews, you can get information that you can't provide yourself. You get these amazing relationships with the sort of guest, and you're also able to build authority through just association there. The trick is asking the right questions and listening intently, being curious, being humble. It's very simple and very easy for a podcaster to not be humble. Right. And what I mean by that is you might be doing an interview and your guest might say something and then you go, oh yeah, and this is let me tell you about a time when I did that too. Well, your listeners may appreciate that, but they're there to listen to the guest. So it's your job to ask questions like, well, why did you do that? Or what was going through your head when you made that decision? Or, well, what happened next? Those are three of my favorite questions to ask as a interviewer. You guys are insane today. What's in the water? Ellen says, hey, Pat, let's see. Is it still worth investing in Facebook groups or better to create communities on our own sites, Reddit? I think that the beauty of starting a Facebook group is twofold. Number one, it's simple and it's free, right? Not that these other community platforms aren't free, but it's just free. It's easy to set up. It's a great way to communicate with your audience. The second part is that a lot of people are already there, right? Facebook is very familiar with people, which is why a lot of these companies that are coming out to help build communities, the big struggle is how can I convince somebody who's used to Facebook, who's used to Instagram, who's used to all these other platforms, how can I convince them to get and download something new and be a part of this community? So there better be value in there. There better be, and there's pros and cons to that, right? Like they're not there yet, so they have to sort of go through a little bit more friction to do what you want them to do. But when they're there, if they enjoy it, it's just you and your community. There's no outside external noise, right? So I think there's pros and cons to going into Facebook. I still think it's worth doing because of just the nature of Facebook itself. However, if you can house your community elsewhere, a lot of people are creating Discords right now. A lot of people are creating mighty networks. I'm bullish on a new company called Circle.so, which is where likely you're going to see some stuff in SPI land very shortly, which is really cool. Full disclosure, I've come on as an advisor to that company, Circle.so. Really, really awesome. So I think no matter what, pick something and go and own it. And I think that this little exercise that I often play with you guys, which is like take the DeLorean a year in the future, choose one platform, take a DeLorean a year in the future. And I know we can't predict the future, but you can imagine what life might be like if you were to make that choice now. What might be great about that? What might not be so great about that? These are sort of things we can do to just figure out if that may make sense or not. All right, the Daily Paddle. What's up, Daily Paddle? The DP, thanks for being here. To give me something to aim for, how many downloads of my Daily Paddle podcast do I need to get before I can have you as a guest on an episode about how I got going with podcasting? Okay, if you can get to, how many downloads of your podcast? So I would say if you can get 2 episodes consecutively over 500 downloads, then that's good enough for me. Honestly, I do a lot of guest podcasting. Haven't done so recently because I've been so focused on you guys and helping here and helping with what's happening in the crisis right now. But we will, because I'm home now, be opening up a lot more of my schedule. So send an email, pat@patflynn.com. Make sure we mention the Daily Paddle and the Super Chat, and we'll see if we can figure it out. But 2 episodes in a row, 500 plus downloads. You may be there already. Awesome. Great job, everybody. We are closing in on 200 people here. And again, thank you for being here today. And we're going to get into a site review at the half-hour mark, which is fantastic. I do see that Just Samson asked a question that a lot of people really love, which is right here. Brendan Hufford, speaking of Facebook groups, he's our Facebook group community manager at smartpassiveincome.com/community. Doing an excellent job there, Brendan. If you have any more words to share about growing and managing a Facebook group, please, you are more than well qualified to do that. All right, Just Hampton, where did you build your first audience? Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. My first audience was on my blog. So smartpassiveincome.com started in October of 2008. At the end of October, that's when you'll see smartpassiveincome.com was registered on any Whois website. And I slowly built an audience there. The way that the audience was built was actually by commenting and being very active on a lot of other people's websites and just doing what I could to be in those conversations and to help out. And of course, back then, comments were much more popular on blogs, and you would have your website sort of linked to in your comments. So if you left a really valuable comment, people would click on your link. And I started to notice I get some like massive traffic from just leaving really good comments, like 20 visitors a day type of massive traffic. And that was massive to me back then because I was starting out. But that's how I slowly started to get known, was literally every day going into dozens of other people's websites. And then of course, when people commented on my blog, then I would go to their website and give them some love on their latest blog post. And we just kind of created these little niche sort of communities. And I remember there was a blog that was teaching people how to make money on eHow. Do you remember eHow.com? I actually started out there and started writing articles there too, which was really interesting. I started to make like $100 a month there, which was really crazy. It was just a fun little passive income experiment, although it took a lot of time to write on there. And then there was a person who was teaching people how to write and make money through authorship, and I was very active on her website too. So it was actually on my blog. Now, in terms of external places, if that's where your head is at, then that first community would be, where would that be? That would be a Facebook page. So that was back when Facebook pages were a thing, and Facebook pages were not yet throttled by the algorithms and the pay-to-play model that Facebook now owns, right? So that was a slow start, trying to get likes or fans. Remember, they were called fans, and then they became likes later. And then I transitioned into Twitter, and Twitter became a good platform for me. I loved the sort of nature of Twitter, having only been 140 characters at the time, and now it's twice that. But back then, I loved it because it was easy for me to support my audience through Twitter. I often on my contact page said, "Hey, go ask me a question on Twitter instead of sending me an email," because I was just getting a barrage of emails even early on because I was asking for them. But I asked instead, can you contact me on Twitter? So that, number one, grew my Twitter account, but number two, forced people to ask questions in a concise manner. And back then, remember, 140 characters. So that was my way of communicating and sort of keeping the conversation short, but also being able to provide quick value to people back then. Hopefully that was helpful. You guys have good energy. Let me know with an emoji, or by the way, if you want a thumbs up, that might help and serve double duty to let me know how you're feeling today. And also, we got this shelf reveal goal. I got 3 more items back here that I want to share with you that are special to me. that I haven't shared before. I shared 3 yesterday because we got to 220. Same goal today, 220. So hit that like button. We can get to 220, and also that just signals that you guys are having a great time, and I hope that you are. And big shout out to all the regulars, the people who are coming back. I appreciate you so much. I'm going to answer one more question, and then we're going to get into actually a few more questions, but I definitely want to get into a couple site reviews here really quick. Joey is asking, why is Circle better than Mighty Networks? I love it because the user interface is it's like Facebook groups married Slack. And in terms of communication, it's a lot less overwhelming. It's a lot easier to sort of learn even as a user. And I'm just really excited about where we can take it to. In addition to that, Circle was created by former Teachable employees. Teachable is a platform that I'm very bullish on with my courses, my relationship with the CEO, as an advisor. And by the way, did you know that they recently got acquired, which is really amazing, by Hotmart, which is a company that serves the online space in Portuguese and in Spanish-speaking markets. And I think that it's a perfect marriage there between Teachable and Hotmart. But anyway, I have a couple shares with Teachable. They just got acquired. So good news. I haven't been very pronounced about that because I just don't want to be tone deaf to the times, but that is cause for celebration. And I'm very proud of the Teachable team and all that they've done. But yeah, that's why I'm really big on Circle right now. Okay. Fantastic. Hook me up with a couple. So if you can get your website through to me here on the Ecamm chat, that's going to be awesome, because then it will be seen, and I'm going to do maybe a few site reviews right now. So while those are coming in, again, your website that you'd like me to review in a way that doesn't get throttled by YouTube. YouTube will not let you type in your regular website address. But in the meantime, while you get that through to me, I'm going to give a shout out to these couple super chats that just came in. We got a super chat from Tammy. Tammy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm a Power Up Podcasting student. I took your class a year ago. Just can't get started. Question, what soundboard do you recommend? Would you be able to add sound effects? I see them on Amazon at all prices. Absolutely. I mean, if you want to add sound effects, the easiest way to do that would actually be for your podcast to put them into your editing file thing, like GarageBand or Audacity or whatever you end up using. You can literally just drag and drop those sound files into your podcast itself. And I've done that before too. And you don't need a soundboard to do that, so you have to click a button when you want that sound to play. You can do that in post, you can do that in edit, and you just have to, like, if you want to set it up, just go, hey guys, check out this sound effect here. I really love that sound effect because it's really cool. And then in post edit, you can add that in later. Hey guys, I really love that sound effect here. Bruh. And then you could do it that way. So that would be the easiest way. Circle.so, Stacy, is a sort of membership site platform that is up and coming and very, very cool. eHow, Easy Articles, Squidoo, InfoBarrel. Wow, Brennan, bringing back the old school writing platforms. That's awesome. But if you do want a soundboard, I am using the Rodecaster Pro, which I love. And if you're going to podcast, I mean, maybe this is the excuse. You need a little skin in the game to have a really professional platform like this, and you don't want it to collect dust. And this does allow you to do sound, the sound panel here for doing sound effects while recording if you don't want to edit it later in your files. And you can record up to 4 microphones. It does a lot of the sort of normalizing and equalization for you. It's really an amazing tool, the Rodecaster Pro. And then finally, we got TJ here. TJ, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you. New podcast idea for everyone trying to buy toilet paper. Will it flush? Sorry, getting stir crazy. Thanks for everything, Pat. You're hilarious. Oh, that's not the right one. Thanks, TJ. Will it flush? That actually would be an interesting channel, although I think we would waste a lot of water, and we don't want to do that right now. So will it? Do you guys remember Will It Blend? I loved Will It Blend. That was good. All right. So we got a few websites coming in, which is great. Let's see, supportingher.com from Alice Turner. Let's go to Alice's website now. I'm gonna do 3 at 3 minutes each. How about that? I'm gonna go to the website first, check it out. I always check it out first, just in case. You never know. Might be something that I don't want to share. Not that your content is that, Alice, but okay, cool. Awesome, beautiful. I'm gonna share this right now, and I'm gonna close some windows here for you so that I can see. these are windows that you can't see. But there we go. Okay. So we got Alice's website here, which is going to be run in 3 minutes. Here we go. Okay. So immediately I get hit with a pop-up, and I have strong opinions about this, Alice, and for everybody. If I don't yet know who you are, don't throw something in my face, right? You can, if I'm leaving though, give me a last stitch effort to go, hey, no, before you leave. So I would make this an exit intent, because I might get into this more naturally without being forced to do that by just going through your website. Now I'm going to scroll down here on the homepage really quick and hopefully see something that also asks me to do the same thing that you're asking me here. Get the free labor cheat sheet. I love the idea, however, of a cheat sheet. Some easy thing that just cuts, remember Game Genie for Nintendo? That was like everything anybody wanted, because it just made playing the game so much easier, although it kind of was unfair. But hey, that's what you're giving people, the unfair advantage here when it comes to labor. Free, love it. Like, okay, first name, birthing or supporting. I like that you're collecting information up front. It's not too much of an ask for me to answer that before subscribing, which I think is great. You could change the wording here on this button from subscribe to get the guide now, or something like a little bit more related to what they're getting, versus, hey, here's your free thing, subscribe to my newsletter and get more emails. There's a little bit of a disconnect there, if that makes sense. And then sell this, like give me 3 bullet points about this thing that would just convince me like mad to go and get it. Childbirth class for the other half. Dads and partners have a vital role. Oh, so this is for dads. Oh, supporting her. I get it. Fantastic. So I would say that, and this image here is great, although I would also try to put the man's face on here too, because you're leaving my face out, right? And I know it's all about her. It is absolutely all about her, but having him support her is really what it's about here. Start here, I'm gonna click on that. This goes to likely a start here page, perhaps, with some more information. You have the same video there. It looks like we prepare partners for birth. Dads and partners have a vital role to play on any birth team, and we are on a mission to prepare them. How about to prepare me? That's like, I'm the dad here. I want to know more. And I think that that's really important, to speak to who I am, right? Talk in first person to somebody and directly speak to me. Let's see, scroll down. You have courses, 10 things to know. Great. I love that I love this website, because it would have been so helpful to have access to something like this when I was first starting. So I think that's great. I think you could sell the solution a lot more. What am I going to pick up being here on your website? A couple bullet points here, right up top. You have a lot of real estate here to play with, to add some text to really speak to me. And also you can tell me what would happen if I didn't get involved. Be the supportive father that helps make your spouse, your wife, your partner feel comfortable during this crazy situation. Learn all the things you need to know so that, or get rid of all the fear, or understand everything that your wife will be going through, so that you can have better conversations about this beautiful moment in your life, right? Don't be that guy. That would be an epic sort of tagline of some kind. Don't be that guy. Learn everything you need to know about how to perfectly support your wife, your spouse, your partner during this time that should be celebrated, and let me help remove the anxiety that comes with being a new dad. Boom, something like that would really speak to me, versus childbirth class, right? That's like, people hear childbirth class, they're like, class. Like, nobody wants to go to class, but they want to be there to support their spouse. So hopefully that helps. Let's do another site review. Hopefully that at least uncovers some information for you that can help out. All right, let's see. We got merchantsofthevoid.com/podcast. All right, let's go there. All right, let's check this out. Merchants of the Void. Great, I love it. So let's go to the computer. So Merchants of the Void, this is like a fiction. This is likely a book or some story that you're telling, and it's a podcast, which is great. So we're gonna go 3 minutes. Here we go. Let me start over, because I just got a text message while that came in. Okay, MOTV, love it. You even have like a language related to this show. Borderline Fiction podcast. Tell me more. What is borderline fiction? So by the way, this logo and this is so big. it's like boom in your face. And in some ways I like that, but I also think it could be shrunk down so that I could start to read a little bit more without having to scroll down. Because right now you're having me click away from it before I even read anything else that's on the page, right? So what I would do is I would shrink this. I mean, you're telling me a little bit about what it is, but I can click to tell me more. Actually, I want to click to see. Okay, so it does bring me down. Okay, so that's not terrible, but I think that I would love to see a little bit more about what it is before having to be asked to do something, right? I just want to see what it is, and you can give me more info. But I love this. Okay, Borderline Fiction is a podcast that brings you a new story each week and lets you decide if your tale really happened or we're pulling the wool over your eyes. Okay, so couple things here related to that. So this is one of those like fact or fiction type shows, I would imagine, right? So that's what I would want to see up here. Are these stories true or not? You decide, or you help decide, or can you determine if these stories are true or false, or just even true or false? Let's see if you're right. Something that gets me curious about, well, what's the purpose of this right up front, right? And then secondly, I think the language that you're using here could be a little confusing because you have to write for the internet like the internet's 5 years old. And what I mean by that is language like, or are we pulling the wool over your eyes? Some people, especially in different languages and different cultures, might not even know what that means. And going back to the language that makes it simple, like really, what is this? If you were describing this to a 5-year-old, how might you describe that? The story, the vote, the big reveal. I love that. You're kind of keeping me on my toes. You're keeping me excited. You want me to listen all the way through. I really love that. Now here's where you're asking for some cash. Keep score. What does that mean? Leaderboard. What does that mean? Video hangouts. Cool. Get featured. How? Where? Why? So you're asking me to pay $30 per year, which I would also frame that. That's less than what? 30 divided by 12, that's a cup of coffee per month to help support the show. And also a little bit of, well, what would this do to help support the show? It brings us even more stories. It helps keep the show alive, all those great things. I would also consider how, I don't know if this is Patreon or not. And also I don't know where can I click on any of this? Like what if I got really interested and I wanted to, okay, I see. Okay, I wouldn't have known that these tooltips were here. This is the kind of stuff that I would want pulled forward because you can't expect a person to go to this one pixel out of the million that are on the screen right now. Podcast feedback, great. And so you're likely sharing this page on your show, which is really fantastic. I love that. Lend us your vote. Already interested, get notified when memberships become available or cutting edge developments. Okay, so that's what. So this is the premium members area. So I would say want to become a member. Put your name and email below so that you can get a discount when memberships become available for the first, we're offering a reward to the first members when membership becomes available. Put in your name and email now so that you can get cut of the first deal. Give me a reason other than just, am I interested or not to subscribe? Woo, fantastic. Hopefully that was helpful. And we're going to do one more since I said we're going to do more than before. So we're going to do one more for now. I might do one later, but yeah, let's get in. Let's see. Looking for more. Huge help, says Alice. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. Dustin in the house. Bye, Francis. Appreciate you. Clarity is so important, Mary says. Absolutely. Okay, let's get. So by the way, this is our goal. And there's the one thumbs down. I was looking for you. Hope you're having a great day today. So remember, today's goal, 220 likes. We are 3/4 of the way through, and we haven't kept up in the last 15 minutes with the like rate. So if you want to get to seeing a few things on my shelf that I can tell some quick stories about, in the shelf behind me, I have a bunch of very special things. I shared 3 yesterday. We can get to 220 by the end of the chat here. That'd be awesome, and I'd be more than happy to do that. If not, we can try again tomorrow. So let's go to Dustin's Board Gaming with Education. How do I select who it is? Well, if you've offered a super chat, I'm more likely to do it. But secondly, it's just kind of random, to be honest. So Dustin's is boardgamingwitheducation.com. So let's try that. Just bringing up the website now. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Thank you for being here, being active in the community, and for showing up every day. Again, patflynn.com/the income stream will take you always back to the current live stream or the page where the next stream is available. I set up the next one, the waiting room, immediately after the show's done. So board gaming with education. Awesome. Let's go to the page, and I'm going to hit the 3-minute countdown timer. Then we'll get into some more questions to help you out. And again, thank you for being here today. I appreciate you. Awesome. Here we go. So board gaming with education. Board games, game-based learning, gamification, and education. Okay, so number one, I can't read this. Board game, game learning, gamification, and education. It gets lost in this sort of textured thing that's on top of this. I like the colors. I like that the board gaming with education pops. It's very clear what the name of this is. But I mean, what is this about? And this is again the theme of just all of these website reviews. What is this about? How will I know that this is for me? Who is this for? Does it connect with me? What am I struggling with, and how does it how does this help? Does this make education more fun so that I actually learn more, or so that my kids get more education and I can get more time back? Like, what is this for? That's the biggest thing here. So I'm not exactly sure what this is for. And look, the whole page here is like there, and like these books are just vector images that don't tell me anything. So not that those images don't and shouldn't exist, but it's just you're losing out on the opportunity to tell me in the first 10 seconds as soon as I land on this page who this is for and why I need to be here. So podcasts, yes, and I know you're a student of mine. By the way, love, and I always share your artwork because I think it's great with a lot of other students that are coming in, which is fantastic. So I know a little bit more about what this show is about because honestly, I forgot about the name, but I remembered your podcast artwork. And if memory serves me correctly, you do board games and some gaming on a podcast to teach English while people are listening. And I think that's a fantastic thing. So why aren't I presented with things like learn how to speak English in a fun way using games with our free podcast, right? Because that's the big driver here, your podcast. Game-based learning, gamification, and other elements of gaming combined with education and learning. Now, I love game-based learning. I think that's great. Gaming combined with education and learning, that's fantastic language. Gamification, however, is that something that to your target audience is interesting to them, or is that scary? I would imagine that for your target audience, especially those perhaps learning a second language, may not best benefit from having gamification in there. Although I know you know what that means. This is what's called the curse of knowledge. When you know something, it's very hard to understand what it's like not to know it. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. So it's very hard to empathize with those who are on the other end. So I'm not saying anything negative about this. I'm just saying we could improve on the language that we're using. That's the most important thing, is the language that is here something that your audience can respond to. Board Gaming with Education email community. Subscribe to get our latest content by email. We need a little bit more. What is it that I'm going to subscribe to? Give me some tips, some tool tips, something that gives me, okay, well, what am I going to miss out on if I don't subscribe? Because people don't want more emails. They want what is in the email, right? And you're basically telling them, we're going to give you more emails here, literally. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Okay, you got that. That's great. Cool. Reviews. I love that you have the reviews here. I think a lot of podcasters, like you're doing right here, can benefit from putting their reviews on their landing pages for their podcast. And one more tip, let's just go to About Us. Also, I'm not quite sure what the number one thing you want me to do is. That's another big test that I do when I go to a website is, well, what's the primary motive here? Do you want me to, is listening to the podcast the first thing you want me to do, or is clicking on a page to learn a little bit more about you? See, this is interesting, by the way. I click on events and programs. It changed, but I didn't know it changed because the top part of the website doesn't change at all. This is why moving things up, I think, would make sense. So I click on About Us, and literally it doesn't even change. The only thing that changes is the URL. Now I scroll down and see it. So I think you can bring this up a little bit more. This is a great picture. I would keep that in there. And I love that. I would also make this text left paragraph versus centered, just a little bit more just on the etiquette of writing online. And yeah, I love this. I love, Justin, the podcast artwork. I think that the website needs to get to that level, and you could do so much better there. So well done. Hopefully that helps. Hoo-wee. Fantastic. Great sites. I will take it to the heart and apply as I head into a revamp of the site this quarter. Awesome. So good timing, Dustin. Thank you for being a student in Power Up Podcasting. You're amazing. And keep up the good work. All right. Thank you, Pat. The artwork was done by my wife. I'll pass along the comment. Yeah, I really loved it. I had trouble finding the waiting room this morning. I'm thinking I wasn't signed in. You're able to see the artwork, or excuse me, the waiting room, again, patflynn.com/theincomestream. So that's just, I made that last night, so now it'll be a lot easier for you. And by the way, Team Flynn for the win. You're amazing. Thank you for so much for being here and for supporting, for all the super chats today. I think we almost cracked $100 in super chats, which is just kind of unreal. Someone is coming here every day to dislike Pat's live stream video. Yeah, and that's totally fine. You know, it's almost like how when they make Japanese gardens, they don't make them perfect. They add a little bit of a weed like here so that it shows that it's a little bit more natural. Even though it's a man-made garden, it's more natural when it looks like, well, it's not a perfect situation. So this is not a perfect live stream. I make mistakes. I say I sometimes forget to turn on the volume when I do sound effects. Unlike that. But it's more real. And it's more real most of all because you're here and you're communicating and you're a part of the community here. So thank you so much for that. Free Spirit, Pat, I love your thought processes and how you bring about the important questions. Your Post-it notes method changed my life, both in writing my book and goal setting. Thank you. Post-it notes are my jam. I love it. I wish if I could be sponsored by any company, it would be Post-it notes and 3M, because Post-it notes have changed my life too. It's exactly the tool I use to plan, whether it's planning a new book, planning the outline of a course, planning the outline of a podcast, planning a vacation. Literally, it's the brainstorming session, Post-it notes, one idea per Post-it note, then clustering them together to create hierarchies and modules, and then putting order to those modules. It just makes things so much easier. Mary says, love these website reviews. I'm very curious what's coming next, Pat. A lot of us don't know how to code, and even though we want to design a site a certain way, our hands are tied. Yes, Mary, and there's a lot of, by the way, great job on Instagram. Like, I think you're going live on Instagram, or at least creating stories every day. I'm seeing them, and I'm very thankful that you tag me in them. But just keep up the good work there. Keep cultivating that audience there, Mary. You're doing a great job. In terms of building websites, there's a lot of tools out there. I would recommend the course, actually, that's on my page at smartpassiveincome.com/toolkit. That'll take you to this page here. And there's a course down here called BYOB, Build Your Own Brand, a 5-day course and challenge to help you build a brand and a website you can be proud of. So I would just walk through that process. It's completely free, and it'll help you get going on your website. How do you organize your days usually and not be overwhelmed? Yeah, with so much to do, I think it's important to know what you're going to be getting into each day before you start the day, because there's a lot of time wasted. There's a lot of overwhelm. There's a lot of anxiety when it comes to the point where you're waking up and you're like, okay, what do I do today? Oh my gosh, I'm wasting my time. What do I do? Versus knowing that, hey, Tuesday is my recording day. So I'm going to go wake up tomorrow on Tuesday. Well, today's Thursday, but you know what I mean. I'm just using this as an example. I'm going to wake up on Tuesday and I'm going to record my show. I already have on the calendar exactly what I want to do for each of those episodes. I already know sort of the bullet points of the stories I want to tell and the transformation I want to happen when I record those shows. So just getting ahead on what it is that you're going to doing before you do it, i.e. prioritization, is absolutely key. So I think that's the most important thing, prioritization, because then you can understand, well, what shouldn't we do? What isn't important? What is not a priority? So let me get those out of my brain so I could focus on the things that I need to focus on right now. Heather says, I kind of love that there's a thumbs down. It turns it into a great teaching moment for Pat Flynn to demonstrate thick skin and loving a way of responding. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, that being said, I would love a perfect all thumbs up podcast, but I think that we can all learn from moments of negativity, and you can't please everybody. That's the other big lesson here, right? You can't please everybody. If you try to please everybody, guess what? You're pleasing nobody. That probably means you're either trying to play it safe, which means you're going to do everything that everybody else did already. You're not creating anything new. That's number one. And number two, I think it is important for you to step up and plant your flag, right? To plant your foot on the ground with specific things. And if you aren't known for something, then what are you going to be known for? And if you're known for something, however, there's going to be people who disagree. And I think that's okay. And that's a very common thing to hear when you go to friends and family and colleagues and you're like, hey, I got a hater And people go, well, that means you succeeded. And there's some truth to that, right? And I think they're trying to make a tough situation lighter for you. However, there is truth to that. There is truth to, well, when you have haters, you kind of are doing it right in one way because you are becoming known for something. And where there are one haters, there's typically more people who are supportive of you and what you want to do. All right, let's keep going. Grandma Goody says, might you do before or after website reviews? Reminds me of Ask Pat revisiting earlier interviews. Seeing implementation is key. Yeah, maybe we can do that. And I know that we've reviewed your site before, so maybe on a stream in the future, maybe tomorrow, maybe this weekend, we can do that. I would love to do a more formalized way. I think next week I'm gonna work over the weekend to see how we might be able to make this experience of the income stream even better. So perhaps creating a landing page where if you wanted to inject your website for a review, and I can just do a random drawing there, we can do it that way versus having to sort of mess with the comment stream here. By the way, goal, we got 4 minutes till the top of the hour. I'm going to give you a little bit of overtime to help you get there, but let's go to 220 likes. We're at nearly 200 now. So that's number one. But number two, what I was going to say was maybe on that website we can have some highlights or clips or something, just to make it easier for you to get access. Or I was thinking about creating a digest as well, one that would highlight some of the most important questions during the week and send them to you via email. And that way we can keep in constant contact with each other. We can let you know when there's fun giveaways and things like that. I do want to make this more fun. If you also have ideas of ways that we can make this more engaging, more interactive, that would be fantastic. Big shout out. Thank you to all the nearly 200 people who are still here after watching this whole time. I really appreciate you so much. You're amazing. So let's go to a couple more questions here at the end. Do you have a guide of some sort to interviewing people, planning actual interview, as well as tips on scheduling tools and so on? So let me give you the quick rundown. Number one, Calendly for scheduling interviews. It just makes it so easy and it makes it on your own terms. That's number one. Number two, make sure that you have the communications set ahead of time. So when you do book a guest, you already have the things that you want to send, where you want them to go, all that kind of stuff. And it could just be boilerplate templates that you send every single time to every new guest. Next, I would say in terms of the interview itself, the main and most important thing is just try to figure out what you want to have be the end result of the interview. What do you envision people would say if it were a great interview about that? What would they learn? What could they take away? This will help guide your questions. And also try to be, just more importantly, just be genuinely curious during the show. That'll force you to listen, which is a hard thing for podcasters to do. Honestly, it's hard to listen to a guest because you're so focused on what's coming next. In addition to that, it also forces you to just ask the right questions. If you're genuinely curious and you're not sure how something is done, well, your audience is probably in the same boat, so you can ask the right questions too. All right. Got 2 minutes, y'all, and I'm not you have 2 minutes to get to 2:20 because honestly, I have to leave at the top of the hour. It's April's birthday, and I'm going to be there to support the kids and get them all figured out for school today because they got distance learning happening. And I'm not one of those people who say hey, here's this, and if you don't get it, I'll give it to you anyway. This is not how we parent, right? We don't parent by saying, hey, you better clean your room or else we're not going to give you that ice cream. And then they don't clean their room and we're going to go, oh, okay, you deserve the ice cream anyway. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. You got to learn, right? Yes, it's hard to listen, especially if they keep talking for a very long time, which is kind of what you want them to do, right? But I think your job as the interviewer is to help steer them in the right direction too. Do I practice meditation? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I need to text message a mass group to join a Zoom call. They're all using different devices. Some have no internet, so they will join by phone. What's the best way to manage text listeners? There's a couple places. There's community.com runs text messages. And also, I think Lead Pages has a text messaging system built in, but it's not a send a message and sort of broadcasting like system. Text messages are hard. I honestly don't know the right answer to that question. Sing happy birthday to April, 205 voices strong. I think we've heard that already. You guys have done a great job of supporting her. Thank you so much for that. Scooby Life says, Pat, you are our daily dose of friendly inspiration and role modeling. Thank you. Hey, thank you all for being here today. Every day, 8 a.m. I'm going to see you tomorrow. Hopefully come in. I have the waiting room almost set up and ready for tomorrow's, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you come in tomorrow, patflynn.com/theincomestream, patflynn.com, the income stream. And yeah, we'll go from there. So text P2P, says Ivan. Thank you so much. Awesome. Well, hey guys, we didn't reach our goal today. I'm going to cut it off right now because we're at the top of the hour, but we're going to try again, and I appreciate you. So thank you so much. I'm going to keep to my word, and we'll see you next time tomorrow. patflynn.com/theincomestream, and we will see you tomorrow. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I can't do it. Love you guys. Take care. Thanks for a great stream, and we'll talk soon, okay? 17 days. 17 days.